it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another Simple Stamping Saturday. Love a stamping Saturday. Today I'm using hashtag Elfie, which is so cute and really appropriate for the lead up to Christmas because lots of people will be doing Elf on the Shelf and those sorts of things. It's so cute and it's going. We're not going to have Elfie anymore. So if you love it as much as I do, do not hang about. Get it while it's still available, she says with her fingers firmly crossed because some things have already sold out. So I, as ever, with my Simple Stamping Saturday, have started with a note card and envelope with some stamping on the envelope as well as on the note card. And I will show you how I've made that, and then I will show you my stepped up versions. And as ever, there will be one for someone with a few more techniques or time in their arsenal, and then one for someone who's got more time and a few more techniques. Neither of the more stepped up versions are what I would call difficult. They're just including more techniques and a few more products. So let's get started. Pop that to one side. So I've got a note card from the note card and envelope pack, and obviously I have an envelope as well. I've already mounted up my 2 stamps that I'm going to use. Actually, I say 2. No, I need 3 because I've actually stamped on the inside for once. So let's get some stamping done and then we can do some colouring. So I'm going to do the envelope first, then the outside, and then we'll do the inside, and then I will do the colouring. So I'm just using some Memento. It's the Tuxedo Black. This is great for all sorts of stamping. Just check that that's the right way up. So yes, if you want just a bold black outline, it's brilliant. It's great for using with blends because it's a water-based ink rather. So it works really well with the alcohol markers. It also works really well with the blender pen. You do need to make sure that in all cases your image is fully dry before you apply any colour. And I'll see how kind I'm feeling and whether I remember when I show you the others later on, because there is a very, very, very slight example of that. So that's our outside stamping done. You can leave the inside until you've finished, but while I'm waiting for things to dry, I'm just going to ink up my A Holiday Hello and get that stamped. Now you want to stamp it the other side from, so this is the front, so the inside of the back is this side, so it's the right hand side, and just go down and up and you've got your nice Holiday Hello. Okay, right, let's pop those there just so that I can see them, so I know what I'm doing with my colouring. I'm using the second collection of watercolour pencils. I've pulled out 4. I've got the Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green and Cherry Cobbler. They are in the annual catalogue and they're on page 179. So this is assortment 2, which has 10 colours, and this is assortment 1, or the unnumbered one, which has 12, which includes black and white. 13 including black and white. The number 2 assortment has got Balmy Blue, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green and Night of Navy. So quite a nice selection there, and a great addition if you've already got the standard water pencils. This is a great addition, but they can be used separately just as well. But I've just thought I'd explain why I'm using these particular colours. I'm going to start with my Cherry Cobbler, and I'm just literally colouring in. And I know it's pencils, and a lot of people think that crayons are for children only. But, you know, you can be young at heart. Do remember that I've got all of the items that I've used listed both below in the description bar on this video and also over on my blog post. And there's a link to my blog post below in the description bar as well. So really easy. And I'll have pictures of all of the cards that I am featuring today with lists of everything I've used. I list in the order in which I introduce them. So the further on you go, so basically it will be the quick and easy, then the casual version, and then the more avid version. So there will be some really odd order. I try to normally list things in the order in which I would sort of use them, which I'll still do. It's just some of them will look a little odd, bearing in mind that we're doing 3 cards. Okay, so that's all the cherry cobbler that I need. Then the Granny Apple Green, I'm just colouring his boots and his little suit. And I'm also giving him some stripy stockings. Now, obviously, you can do whatever colour scheme you want. I've seen it in blue, I've seen it in real red, I've seen it in Poppy Parade, and they're all lovely. You know, just go with what you want. There is no right and wrong. It's your project, so you do what you want to do. I'm going to move those out of the way now, actually, because they're getting in my way. So we've been having some really, really lovely frosty mornings here in South Oxfordshire. It's been lovely, very, very cold, and I'm on church locking and unlocking duty at the moment. So I have an early morning and a late afternoon walk to the church, which is lovely. As some of you know, I live right on the edge of some fields. So effectively our front door goes straight onto a muddy track, which is particularly muddy at the moment, but it means that we've got houses on one side as I walk up the track and fields on the other, and it's just heaven. And the sun rises over the fields, so it's really lovely. So although it's a very early start, it's still jolly nice. Crushed curry for bells and hair. So bell on his hat, bells on his feet. But yes, we have a rota in the village for volunteers to open and lock up the church. This morning, however, it was a little damp and kind of windy and not very nice. So yeah, not quite as pleasant as it has been. And then some Flirty Flamingo just very, very gently on his cheeks. Just a hint of a pink cheek. And again, I'm going to show you an error. Schoolboy error later on. So that's it. Oh, mustn't forget the envelope, must I? So again, garden green, not garden green, Granny Apple Green. Now do just be aware that when you're colouring with watercolour pencils, if you find a ridge, and there's a ridge in the envelope here, you may want to change direction of your colouring. Otherwise you may end up with a very obvious ridge. So just be aware of that. So yes, it's been a really, really lovely week. I have to say I've been incredibly busy. I seem to have a diary that's going from bad to worse. I've had a couple of weeks where I had not very much planned, and then things moved, and they all got moved to the 2 weeks where I thought I had not very much planned, which means it kind of took me by surprise. Just going to do his hair, and that's actually all I'm going to do on the front, because the rest is really covered up, anything that I've coloured before. So his cheeks are covered up, so there's no point in popping, oh, forgot his bell. There's no point in doing his cheeks because there aren't any. There we are. So that is our quick card. You could say it's the simple version. I like to think of it as the quick version. You know, sometimes the most avid crafters like just really quick stuff to make, so let's embrace that. So those are my 2 cards that I've made. I spent a bit more time with the colouring on this one, getting some more of the red down. The more you layer it up, the darker it gets, but other than that, they are the same. So that's that one. Then I just added some coloured cardstock, so I've got some Granny Apple Green and some basic black, and then I've used my blender pen to move the colour around. And my schoolboy error, well, 2 things. A, can you see just down here there's a kind of grey smudge just here? Yeah, that's because I didn't wait for the ink to dry before I did that. So yeah, that's why I say make sure you wait for your ink to dry. And the other schoolboy error is he's got kind of yellow cheeks because I didn't clean off my blender brush fully, or blender pen fully, before going from his hair to his cheeks. So he's kind of got a little bit of a bilious look to him. But anyway, so that's that one. And then for my more involved version, I've stamped and fussy cut, and then I've coloured with blends, but I've also added some Wink of Stella on anything that was white, apart from his stockings. So he's got fur, or his collar indeed. So the little bits of fur I've done Wink of Stella, and on the candy cane and the sign. And I've also added, and I don't think it's showing on the camera, I'll try and pick it up on the photo, I've put some of the shimmer crystal, the shimmery crystal effects onto the bell and the two bells on his toes. So there is a little bit of glitter there. I've also added some rhinestones, and just with a basic black marker, which you can buy singly or on its own, I've just gone around the outside of the mat with a couple of lines, deliberately not straight, because if you do them deliberately not straight, they look deliberate, whereas if you try and do them straight and not with a ruler, they look kind of odd. So yes, deliberately not straight, just to add a bit more something. So there we go. The quick version, the more advanced version, or more product version, and then the one that introduces blends and a few more layers and a few more techniques. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed those. If you did, please give them a thumbs up. Do remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below, and you can subscribe by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. I love it when people subscribe. It makes my heart sing when my subscriber numbers go up. It just means that it's worth my while doing this because people are enjoying it. Equally, when people give me a thumbs up or leave me a nice comment, that's really nice as well. Do remember, as I say, that there are close-up photos on my web page, or blog post, which is linked below, and all sorts of other information is also linked below and on my website. Thank you very much indeed. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot.